One of our main goals at Off Grid is to make sure that civilians are equipped to be their own first responder. Now with that comes ensuring you are carrying the correct gear when you need it. While your firearm is going to be the main focus of your setup, there are plenty of other things as a responsible citizen that you should probably be carrying in your bag. First thing is making sure that your firearm is secure inside of your bag. So with this actually comes having a dedicated holster or holster mount for your firearm. One of the worst possible things to have is a negligent discharge because you risk hurting yourself or others around you. Now for me, I have a Tracer Tactical holster mount panel in here, and then my Tenicor holster. The idea for this, for me at least, is to be able to switch my Tenicor holster to AIWB and then easily move it to my bag. One thing that you can do is actually on loop line bags like this is the Eberly stock Bando bag, you can actually take a piece of adhesive Velcro, put it on the back of your holster, and then actually mount it inside the bag. And then for my concealed carry, what I am carrying is the Shadow Systems CR920X. I have a Holosun 507K on here, and we're gonna get into some other things you can carry to perform on-the-go maintenance for your firearm as well. So moving on into the main portion of the pack, I am also going to keep my firearm separate from everything else. I have, what is obvious, is a flashlight. So this is the Nebo Edge 2K. I am not a fan of flashlights that have a lot of controls and screens on them. And also, if you are carrying a weapon mounted light, yes, that is great, but you don't want to be pointing a weapon mounted light or your weapon at something or someone that is not a threat. So an actual dedicated flashlight is extremely important. So this flashlight does have a low, medium, high, and a turbo setting. The nice part about it is it's USB-C rechargeable, and it does have a strobe mode, so you do have that self-defense factor with it. And then if I hold down the power button, it will do a turbo mode of 2000 lumens. Have found the charge on this to be extremely good, and the dial system is extremely easy to recognize. There's just 4 dots going across the top to let you know the status of the battery. I've had to charge it minimal amount of times, but it is a great light. One of the biggest things we preach carrying is medical. If you're going to carry something that can make holes, you need to carry something that can plug holes. So the easiest things to start out with is a tourniquet, hemostatic gauze, and a pressure bandage. So what I have in here is the soft tourniquet from TechMed Solutions. And what I do like about this tourniquet is the fact I can get it to fold flat. Smaller than a cat. I have nothing against the cat. I love the cat tourniquet. We use it a lot around here. But the soft tourniquet, I do like the fact that I can easily unbuckle this, get it around a pin limb, and then I do like having the metal windlass. And I'll show a comparison of how the sizing is against a cat. It's just a touch smaller as well. One thing I did start doing is actually taking a piece of Velcro one wrap and putting around the tourniquet. I used to use a UV rubber band. However, with the soft, you have the track right here in the clip. The UV rubber band seemed to keep getting stuck if you go to take it off. So that is the important part of knowing your gear, is seeing where you have hiccups. So something as simple as a one wrap fixed that issue. Now moving on, we have hemostatic gauze. This is quick clot combat gauze. This is the 12-foot roll, 4-yard roll, whatever you want to call it. Hemostatic gauze is going to coagulate blood much faster than wound packing gauze. Your life, somebody else's life is worth it. Hemostatic gauze does run about $45, but I would say it is worth it. There are different types of quick clot out there. There is their 2-foot version and their 4-foot version. With a gunshot wound, you are going to have a pretty decent sized cavity to fill, and you'll be surprised how much gauze you can actually fit in that. So going with the actual standard quick clot and not the adventure line, I forget what it's called exactly, or the 4x4 pads of quick clot are extremely important. Just go with this. Now for a pressure bandage, I do carry the SWAT T tourniquet. While I don't recommend it too much for adults, you can still use it for adults. It's going to be much more effective for canine and pediatric use, but you can use it as a pressure bandage after packing. The nice part about these things is that they're extremely versatile. So I can use this as a tourniquet, as a pressure bandage, secure a splint, make a sling, You can get pretty creative what you can do with it. But the nice part is it's about $15 or less right now. Compare that to a emergency trauma dressing, which are going for almost $10 nowadays. This is a pretty good option for an extra $5 or so bucks. And then we have gloves. Gloves are very self-explanatory. For things you do not want to touch or should not be touching, I would go with a lighter pair just because you can see fluids like blood much easier on them, but they are very self-explanatory. Now, one of the more recent things I've added is a small wound care kit. This is from 1110 Gear. Basically in here you get 13 Band-Aids in different sizes. You get sterile gauze pads, alcohol prep pads, and frog tape. But you'll probably be using this more than any other piece of medical, hopefully, in your kit. This is just good for cuts and scrapes. And then last, we have a Hyphen Compact Chest Seal. This is the twin pack, so entry and exit wounds. Chest seals have been debated for their efficiency lately. I still like to have a chest seal in the bag. If you don't want to carry a chest seal, what you can do is actually tear something like this bag flat, use the frog tape inside of here, and make a seal, just a makeshift seal if you really need to. Moving on, we have a Rite in the Rain notebook. Now, I've gone through a lot of these, the larger sizes. For this bag, I am not carrying the spiral bound. I find that the spiral can get caught in the zipper. So this is just the staple version. And then obviously I have a pen in here as well. Reason for a notebook is I write down a lot of notes personally, whether it's at a trade show, just general ideas, to-dos, work ideas. But I find that actually writing something down holds a lot more weight than just typing it on your phone. That's just my own opinion. You don't have to listen to me, but I do like having a notebook. Next up, we have a Zac tool. This is the window punch. I also just recently added this as well. Recently, I assisted with an overturned van. There was individuals in the back of the van, and I had a spring-loaded window breaker. So when I went to use that spring-loaded window breaker, I could not get through the front window. So I moved around to the back of the van. And with that, you have to push directly into the glass for that tip to launch into the glass. Well, what I found was when I launched it into the glass, my whole fist went through the glass with it, and I ended up cutting up my hand. So this is why I switched to the Zac tool, because you can pull this back and you're not actually forcing your hand through the glass. So just a small good thing to carry. It is larger, it's about the size of a pen, but a very good tool to have. And then last up, we have the SOG Flash MT. This is an extremely small multi-tool. What you have here is nail nose pliers, wire cutters, and then we can flip it around. And then we have a knife as well, which is very handy. And then we talked about maintaining your optic. Well, in this guy, you do have a bit in here as well. So you have a flat head and a Phillips head bit, which I can put right into this magnetic top. And now I can maintain my firearm as well. So that is a very nice little feature of this guy. And then off to the side here, we do have a larger flat head with a bottle opener, but I just find that the Phillips head and the flat head are probably the most useful things in here. This bag I have dedicated just for things that kind of assist each other in a way. I do carry my phone, wallet, keys, flashlight, and I do carry a dedicated knife as well in my pocket. But this bag is just meant for those things. You can fit, your wallet in here. There's not much room left. This is the standard Bando bag. On the XL, you might have a little bit of room, and some Vertex packs, you might also have a little more room. But that is just from my experience. It is very important that you are training out of the bag. So if you do go to the range or you are just dry firing in your home, make sure you are getting reps out of the bag, in a holster, out of the bag. For me, even in particular, I'm a lefty and I like to wear this bag crossbody. So what I've found after a little bit of training with it is I like to orient the zippers up towards my left clavicle because I find that tearing down and I can get a much better purchase on that firearm. If you take something away from this video, it is two things. Carry medical, that's the one thing we always preach, and make sure you train with your gear. You can have the best gear in the world, but it does not mean anything if you can't access it and you don't know how to use it.